need life insurance, but unless you're young and healthy, you gotta call Big Lou, because he's like you, older, heavier, and on meds too. Get a quote right now at 800-555-2085, 800-555-2085, or biglou.com.
Swantee's a Bullhead City, wants to make your life easier. Swantee's has new Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Dodge vehicles all in stock, like the 2025 Dodge Durango. Swantee's features fast trade-in value, competitive specials, and no-hassle financing. Now, Swantee's wants your car, paid for or not. They will come to you, have an extra car, sell it to us today, or trade in to upgrade. Swantee's of Bullhead City at 2494 Highway 95, right here in beautiful Bullhead City.
The office water cooler is a great place to catch up on gossip with coworkers, but it turns out you might not want to actually drink from it. I'm Dr. Catherine Albrecht, back in a moment with a horrible hydration report.
Is your email box overrun with spam? With a StartMail account, you'll never have to give your real email address to a stranger again. Online shopping, newsletter subscriptions, getting that 30% off coupon, they all need your email address. But with StartMail, you can invent new addresses or aliases linked to your inbox behind the scenes and give those out to people while keeping your real address hidden. It's just one more protection from StartMail.com.
The next time you're feeling thirsty at work, you may want to just drink the tap water from the kitchen sink. Researchers found concerning levels of bacteria, mold, and contamination in over 75% of the workplace water coolers they tested. They were especially concerned about a pathogen called P. aeruginosa. It thrives in wet environments, poses serious dangers to immunocompromised people, and it's been linked to everything from pneumonia to bloodstream infections. That's anything but thirst quenching. Maybe the workplace needs to start its own kind of BYOB. Bring your own Brita. I'm Dr. Catherine Albrecht for StartMail.com and RealIsGood.org.
Developers and investors, located in beautiful Needles, California. This is your opportunity. River Lux Resort, a city-approved 15-acre mixed-use development along the Colorado River, zoned PUD and C2, ready for retail, resort, and residential growth. Prime location between the river and the golf course, where lifestyle meets potential. Visit riverluxresort.com and discover the vision.
From the KTOX AM 1340 and 92.9 FM Weather Center, I'm Charles Dixon. Clear sky and 96 degrees on Route 66 in Needles, and good afternoon to listeners in Bullhead City. Currently clear sky and 93 degrees for you. Getting down to 67 overnight tonight. Wednesday's high will be in the upper 90s. Sky is clear. Temperatures in the lower 100s on Thursday. That's your KTOX Tri-State weather. Brought to you by Route 66 Broadband.
KTOX. The opinions voiced on the Rob Hanson radio program are those of the host and the callers, and not necessarily those of KTOX and Ruben Broadcasting.
Oh my goodness gracious me, mercy sakes alive. It is the Miss Rob Hanson radio program right here on the Tri-State's Undisputed Talk Leader. That'd be KTOX 1340 AM.
Program on KTOX 1340 AM, now with FM on 92.9 FM. The Tri-State's Undisputed Talk Leader.
Oh, yeah. And welcome back. It is Tuesday. I'm glad I'm actually here to be able to do this Tuesday show. I haven't had to take my daughter to the hospital today. I count that as a huge win. And yesterday is a different story, but I haven't had to take her back today, so that's all right. Anyway, 855-586-9134 is the number you want to join in the program. But first off, got treats for the putty dog. Anyway, we're going to talk about the top 6 conspiracy theories going on in the U.S. right now. And they may not be your top 6, but they're my top 6. Anyway, I'll hit the ones buzzing the hardest right now, explain why it grips so many people, and crucially break down the provable reasons each one collapses when you look at the evidence. Here at KTOX, we do love a good mystery. I mean, seriously, look at my old show, Ghost Stories. All right? I love that show. Now, even though I do believe in ghosts, I have experienced ghosts here in the radio station and whatnot and so forth, but can I prove it? No. Do I have some evidence that's kind of weird? Oh, yeah. And frankly, it was a fun show. It was a fun show. We got to talk to people who investigated paranormal experiences from all around the world, and it was awesome. But we're not diving into that today. But we also love verifiable truth. So settle in, crank up that dial, just twist it all the way to the, what is that, right? Rip the knob off and toss it over your shoulder. And let's get into it. So starting at number 6, chemtrails and geoengineering. People claim these sky trails from planes aren't innocent contrails. They're deliberate sprays of chemicals to manipulate weather, control minds, and harm the population. Videos of lingering lines going viral every hazy day. It hooks people because the unusual weather feels engineered. And, well, I'll get to that in a minute. But guess what? It's provably false. Decades of air and oil sampling by NASA, the EPA, and NOAA, the weather people, and university labs show these trails are simply ice crystals from engine exhaust in cold. Humid upper air. Chemical analysis find normal levels of elements, no toxins spiking. Lingering happens in high humidity. Short contrails in dry air. And guess what? Physics explains it all. It's no secret program. Every peer-reviewed study debunks the claims. Seriously. Every single last one. Now, where did this really start, the chemtrails? Well, it started in the late 90s. I'm sorry, the early 90s. Mid-90s-ish. With Art Bell. The Art Bell program. And then it took off. It took off like a rocket. Now, here's number 5, another Art Bell favorite topic. UFOs, aliens, and government cover-ups. Pentagon whistleblowers allege recovered alien craft and non-human remains stashed away, with recent hearings keeping the buzz alive. The allure comes out of official videos of unexplained objects and admissions of UAP investigations. Yet also, again, provably false. Comprehensive reviews by NASA's independent panel, Pentagon Aero reports through 2025 and 2026, and scientific analysis of every major case trace sightings to drones, balloons, optical effects, classified aircraft, or sensor artifacts. No physical evidence of extraterrestrial origin has held up under lab scrutiny. Whistleblowers rely on hearsay, admitting no direct proof. It's advanced human tech and misdirection, not little green men. Number 4. The New World Order, the globalist elites plotting one world government. Now, there may be some truth to this, but, I really don't buy it. Things like WEF, UN Agenda 2030, figures like Gates and Soros supposedly orchestrating a great reset for total control via digital IDs, climate policies, or economic collapse. Global summits and public pledges make it seem coordinated. Here's why it's provably false. Those documents are openly published. Read Agenda 2030 yourself. It's sustainable development goals with no binding enforcement. The WEF is a discussion forum, not a governing body. No secret treaties or hidden cabal show in the financial records, intelligent leaks, or diplomatic cables. Global coordination happens through treaties and economic transparency. Messy and far from a unified plot. The evidence is cherry-picked quotes taken out of context. And, here's one of my favorites. Coming in at number 3. Israel, or the Jewish lobby, secretly controlling U.S. politics. Claims that IPAC and the Zionist interests dictate foreign policy, elections, and wars hidden through influence. It gains traction amid geopolitical tensions and lobbying visibility. Provably false. Often rooted in debunked anti-Semitic fabrications like century-old protocols of the Elders of Zion, exposed as a forgery in 1921. AIPAC lobbies openly, like countless groups, NRA, Pharma, etc., with donations disclosed under FEC rules. U.S.-Israel ties stem from strategic alliances, congressional votes, and voter biases. Public records show no shadowy control. Historians and intelligence assessments find zero evidence of puppet mastery. Influence exists in democracies. Secret domination does not. Now, coming in at a solid number 2, or maybe a loose number 2, depending on if you have diarrhea or not. The Trump assassination attempts were staged or inside jobs. In 2024, instances in Butler, Pennsylvania, or the incident at Butler, Pennsylvania, and the golf course allegedly faked for political gain, sympathy votes, or to justify crackdowns. Rapid online spread cited suspicious details like angles or security, but provably false. Multiple independent investigations, FBI forensics, ballistic trajectories from crime labs, eyewitness videos from civilians, autopsies confirm real gunfire, genuine injuries, and lone actors with traceable motives and weapons. Security lapses were incompetence, not orchestration. No stand-down orders or crisis actor evidence emerged despite intense scrutiny. Staged on live TV with thousands watching would demand impossible secrecy. Impossible. You wouldn't be able to contain the leaks on that one. Now, here's another Art Bell conspiracy that right now is really taking root. across social media platforms. And I read it, and I literally fell out of my chair laughing. Government weather control, hurricanes, and HARP. Agencies supposedly steer storms using HARP or other tech to target areas or advance agendas, especially after major hurricanes. Post-storm frustration makes it appealing. Provably false. HARP is a small ionospheric research array. Its energy output, while high, is negligible against a hurricane's massive scale. Think a flashlight versus a nuclear bomb. NOAA satellite data and meteorology models match storm paths to natural factors like sea temperatures, and shear cloud seeding is limited to minor precipitation boosts in specific zones. Impossible for creating or directing massive cyclones. HARP signatures on radar are routine artifacts. Physics and weather science rule it out. So there we go. From chemtrails to weather wars, these theories keep circulating because of the chaos, because chaos craves explanation. We all, but every one of them buckles under scrutiny. Lab tests, court records, scientific consensus, public audits, and basic physics provide the counterweight. The real issues? Policy failures, lobbying power, transparency gaps. They deserve attention through facts and accountability, not shadow narratives. And frankly, I like to question everything. Sure, but when the evidence speaks, I listen. I want your opinions on this. 855-586-9134. And when we come back from the break, I'm going to start taking those. So, caller, hang on the line. And when we come back, we'll have our own discussions about what's real and what's fake. We'll be right back. KTOX Needles.
Some people call me Maurice, because I speak of the pompatus of love. People talk about me, baby.
This portion of the Rob Hanson radio program could be brought to you by you for as little as $25 a week. For more information, email us at info@ktox1340.com. That's info@ktox1340.com. info@ktox1340.com.
KTOX.
KTOX. The Tri-States Talk Leader.
Stuck in Bullhead City without a ride? Don't waste time. Call Taxi. We're your local experts for fast, reliable transportation around town, to the airport, or anywhere you need to go. Our friendly drivers ensure safe, comfortable rides at affordable rates, 24/7. Whether it's a quick errand or a night out, we've got you covered. Call now, 928-201-2953. That's 928-201-2953. Time Call Taxi, because time is money, and we're always on time.
In need of a licensed professional plumbing service? Don't look any further than Skilled Tradesman Services. They offer commercial and residential plumbing service and new construction contracts at competitive prices. Water heater installation prices starting at $700. 10% off for veterans and seniors. Mention this ad and get an additional 10% off. Call Skilled Tradesman Services at 928-450-5104. That's 928-450-5104.
Hey, Dr. Phil here. You know, I help people solve difficult problems every day, but one problem has me stumped: childhood hunger. Nearly 16 million children in America struggle with it. Luckily, the Feeding America network of local food banks collects surplus food, giving hope to hungry children and their families. but they need your help. Join me in supporting Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. I came out in the 11th grade. Nobody was embracing you. The kids were cruel. It was very difficult to be gay. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
The hard part was determining that I was going to do it, but I definitely didn't do it alone.
At age 30, with the help of her mentor, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
I have a mentor, Maria. She convinced me to continue my education and to finish what I started to get my diploma. Just never judges. She's a true role model. If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, go get it. You can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
People been saying to your friend, get a different face, and posting on their feed, they're super ugly. The things they say to them online are cruel and they're not true. So tell your friend, I'll stand up for you. Don't worry, I know what to do. Tell the world I see with an emoji to stop the bullies.
Know someone who's being bullied online? Send the witness emoji. It looks like an eye in a speech bubble, and it's in the symbol section near the clocks in your phone. You'll let the world know it isn't cool, and you'll let your friend know you care. Learn more about the witness emoji at iwitnessbullying.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
When you were a little kid and you thought about what you wanted to be, teaching was at the top of your list. But things changed. And as you got older, teaching didn't seem like the best option anymore. So you're thinking you'll be something else. But what would your 12-year-old self say? Now you want to be a doctor. You don't think teachers save lives? 25 at a time. An actress? Try playing a different role every time the bell rings. How about a scientist? Ever heard of physics? Chemistry? Who do you think teaches that? Teachers today are breaking down obstacles, finding innovative ways to instill old lessons, and taking learning far beyond the four walls of the classroom. It's time to recognize that great things are happening in teaching and put it back on your list. Don't try to convince yourself otherwise. You had it right the first time.
Find out how you can make more at teach.org. Make more. Teach. Brought to you by Teach and the Ad Council.
KTOX, we bring you facts without fear or favor.
To talk with Rob on the air, call 855-586-9134.
And welcome back. 855-586-9134. So, what do you think? Let's go to the phones. KTOX, you're on the air. Oops.
From Longview.
Let's try that again. KTOX, you're on the air. There you are.
Hi, Miss Rob.
Hey, how you doing?
Chuck from Longview.
Chuck from Longview. How you doing, Chuck?
Hello. I'm doing okay. I'm not going to be all crazy on your show.
I'd appreciate you not be, but go ahead. What's up?
You don't like that? You don't like that?
What's that? Being crazy?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, not really.
All right. I suppose. Look, something that really, I think that when the pro-Israel lobby tries to say, well, if you're, suspicious of pro-Israel lobby being involved in our government, you're anti-Semitic. And what they do is they try to say, well, you're against Jewish people because you don't support Israel. That's not the case. I think that there's plenty of Jewish people that don't support Israel effort to conquer Lebanon. They don't support the war on Iran.
Hang on a second now. I want to know where is who has said Israel's trying to conquer Lebanon?
Oh, that's, I guess that's a fact.
Okay,
Right
they have troops moving in there. They're setting up bases.
Yes.
They are.
Yes.
Okay, that's the first I'm hearing of it. They're bombing the heck out of Lebanon. I get that. Yeah, they've been bombing Hezbollah in places pretty much constantly. But moving troops in? No, I haven't heard any of that at all.
Yeah, they're moving troops in, and they've been mustering for a couple of days now. I don't know if they've actually went in, but when the global community sees stuff like this and this overreaction to a hideous event that occurred on October 7th.
Okay, describe overreaction to a hideous event.
Well, I guess what we're seeing right now, it's a completely overblown. We're getting roped into going to war for Israel and Iran. Israel is invading Lebanon. They're bombing Beirut. They're doing this and that, and they're being as crazy as a Muslim state. And we're helping out with that. And so when you say, and people say, well, if you oppose that action by Israel, you're somehow anti-Semitic. I think that's trying to paint an actual picture of people that oppose overreach by Israel. So,
okay.
Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. 855-586-9134. KTOX, you're on the air.
Rob, this situation is very easy to understand.
Okay.
If you and I were born and raised in those conditions of where we have no access to outside information about what is going on, of course you're going to be on the side of, the negative. It's just that simple. It's like, all right, like I went back to on the other show, I says, we're all broken human beings on many spider web different directions and definitions, but we're all connected. So we have no choice but to express what is the broken condition, how it took place, and what we need to do to respond to make the correction of those mistakes. Also, when it comes to, I need to say it once again. We need to send Johnny over to the Middle East.
Send Johnny to the Middle East. I like Johnny. I don't want Johnny to be tossed off a roof.
No, he's going to be the winner over there.
Oh, okay.
He's going to report home, and he's going to say, war is over with.
Okay. All righty. Well, thanks for the call. Do appreciate it. Bye. KTOX, you're on the air.
Yeah, Laguna Beach dude here.
Hey, it's the creature from Laguna Beach. How you doing?
Yeah, good. What I wanted to say is I think one of the conspiracies in America is to get people to talk about things that really don't matter right now. Now, like, do I believe there's space aliens? Of course there is. But I mean, do we need to be talking about that right now? Not necessarily.
Are they? But are they visiting us?
If they are, good. Here's the thing: they're probably a hell of a lot smarter than we are.
Oh.
They probably laugh at us at our weapons and everything we're doing to each other here on this planet. You know how dumb we are in some ways. But anyway, having wars and so forth. But what do they call that? Sasquatch or whatever, Bigfoot.
Oh yeah, Bigfoot, totally real.
people that talk about stuff like that are ignorant, in my opinion, because we got some serious things going on in America right now that we need to fix.
You know,
we need to figure out how to fix them. I'm not saying it's going to be in our lifetime.
You know, you're absolutely right. There are enough issues going on right now that, you know, if we take the bait and, you know, argue about things like chemtrails, HARP,
right?
The Jewish agenda or the Zionist takeover of the world, or whatever it is that people seem to think that they need to consistently fight over. No, we're not going to pay attention to what they're doing. And this is here's the conspiracy in itself. This is exactly what those in power would like for us to do. We would like to pay attention to everything else other than what they are actually doing. There's my conspiracy theory.
Yeah, there's people in America that are putting us down, putting America down. Okay, in many different ways. They're knocking us. You know that we're doing this wrong or we're doing that. You know, but they don't love this country. They want us to plant that seed in our mind that America is no good or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And actually, we're the greatest country in the world. But the thing is,
that's a conspiracy theory.
Okay. Call it what you want.
I know.
Nobody's going to convince me any different.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
No. I'm saying, do we have problems? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do we do things wrong, like go into almost 40 trillion in debt? Yeah, we do things wrong. But is America still the best country in in the world?
Oh,
yeah.
Absolutely. I have no doubt about it, and I will say that, you know.
I don't know if they could start over again and with the money. I don't know how they can fix it. But the thing is, we need to concentrate on fixing things, and I don't mean going to the moon either, because that's a waste of our. If in the private sector they want to do that, go for it with your own money.
Right.
But don't take tax dollars and go to the moon. Well, we can't even go to the moon to see if you're really there. None of this anymore. You know what I mean? That's got to stop. That's got to stop. I mean, we got to use common sense with all this stuff.
All righty.
Yeah.
All right, man.
But
I've got other callers that want to get in, so I'm going to kind of cut you short for a minute because look, I like it when people call in and discuss these things because this is how we communicate.
Well, homie, don't play that.
You don't communicate?
I'm just kidding with you.
I know. All right, man.
Okay.
Thanks for the call.
I'm stoked. Thank you.
KTOX, you're on the air.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I don't remember anybody talking about Bigfoot. But as long as we're talking about Bigfoot, I'm going to say something real quick here,
okay,
if you don't mind.
Go ahead. Bigfoot
now,
it is.
Everybody around the campfire right now, listen up. On the May of 1980, after the Mount St. Helens eruption, there was a what do you call it? A recovery effort for people and for equipment and stuff like that around the blast zone around Mount St. Helens. And if you go to the Sasquatch Festival, there's firsthand witnesses of people there that supposedly hauled out bodies, and they weren't human bodies, of these creatures that had been killed by the
volcanic blast.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. I really I need to do a deep dive into that. I really do.
Yeah, and you can go out. They call it squatching. Have you ever heard of squatching?
Squatching. No, I haven't gone out to actually look for Bigfoot before.
Well, you don't. You're also looking for indicators of Bigfoot because sometimes what they'll do is there's a symbiotic relationship between Bigfoot and ravens.
And
you know that?
Ravens, you say?
Yes.
Okay, Edgar Allan Poe style blackbirds.
Right, the big
Okay.
ravens. Sometimes they will mimic car sounds,
Uh-huh.
like, and then they'll communicate to the Bigfoot what they see. So they'll see a car coming up, and then they'll go, like honk like a car.
Oh, so they
And then
can run off then.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And then sometimes the Sasquatch, they'll make sounds like this.
They make
And then
sounds
they'll stop.
like what?
You don't hear that?
No, I don't hear that at all.
Okay, thank you.
All righty. 855-586-9134 is the number. Boy, that went off the rails quick. Oh, yeah. Well, like what Perry had to say, or the creature from Laguna Beach. I really do. And, everybody else has some good ideas as well. But it is the Miss Rob Hanson radio program right here on the Tri-State's undisputed talk leader. That'd be KTOX 1340 AM and 92.9 FM. We'll be back after these messages. KTOX Needles. This portion of the Rob Hanson radio program could be brought to you by you for as little as $25 a week. For more information, email us at info@ktox1340.com. That's info@ktox1340.com. info@ktox1340.com.
KTOX.
KTOX.
The Tri-State's talk leader.
Stuck in Bullhead City without a ride? Don't waste time. Call Taxi. We're your local experts for fast, reliable transportation around town, to the airport, or anywhere you need to go. Our friendly drivers ensure safe, comfortable rides at affordable rates, 24/7. Whether it's a quick errand or a night out, we've got you covered. Call now, 928-201-2953. That's 928-201-2953. Time Call Taxi. Because time is money, and we're always on time.
Attention all business owners. If you have been looking for a reliable cleaning service, stop searching. River Life Pros are the best in the industry. River Life Pros are a family-owned mother-daughter cleaning service revitalizing businesses from Needles to Laughlin. Licensed and bonded, Carrie Ann, Kylie, and Ashley will go the extra mile to make your enterprise sparkle. Make an appointment today with River Life Pros by calling 702-859-2480, 813-812-3097, or go to homecleaningmojavivalley.com.
This is Mike from the Afternoon Drive-By. I want to talk to you about one of KTOX's most loyal and famous sponsors. That is Dandy's Donut and Deli in Fort Mojave. Dandy's has fresh-baked donuts, hot and iced coffee every day. Besides the consistently incomparable food and exceptional service, Dandy's overall excellence and clean atmosphere is unsurpassed. Dandy's Donut and Deli at 4630 Highway 95. Open 5 a.m. to 3 p.m. Tuesday through Sunday.
And tell them that you heard it on KTOX.
KTOX would love to do your advertising. If your organization or business needs a little help, KTOX can get your name out on the air. We have the best advertising rates in the area. Reach us by email at ktoxradio@yahoo.com or 928-296-2562. That's KTOXradio@yahoo.com or 928-296-2562.
Hi, Crystal again from High Desert Heat. Never before in history has it been more important to hang on to your Second Amendment rights. Times are changing fast. Make sure you and your family are protected. At High Desert Heat, we have all your Second Amendment needs. Weekly CCW classes as well as training or even a try before you buy. Custom Cerakoting, engraving, ladies private and group shooting classes. We are your hometown family-friendly one-stop shop. High Desert Heat, 4410 Highway 95, Fort Mojave, Arizona, 928-763-4328.
This is Mike from the Afternoon Drive-By. I want to talk to you about one of KTOX's most loyal and famous sponsors. That is Dandy's Donut and Deli in Fort Mojave. Dandy's has fresh-baked donuts, hot and iced coffee every day. Besides the consistently incomparable food and exceptional service, Dandy's overall excellence and clean atmosphere is unsurpassed. Dandy's Donut and Deli at 4630 Highway 95. Open 5 a.m. to 3 p.m. Tuesday through Sunday.
And tell them that you heard it on KTOX.
KTOX would love to do your advertising. If your organization or business needs a little help, KTOX can get your name out on the air. We have the best advertising rates in the area. Reach us by email at ktoxradio@yahoo.com or 928-296-2562. That's KTOXradio@yahoo.com or 928-296-2562. Swantee's of Bullhead City wants to make your life easier. Swantee's has new Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Dodge vehicles all in stock, like the 2025 Dodge Durango. Swantee's features fast trade-in value, competitive specials, and no-hassle financing. Now Swantee's wants your car, paid for or not. They will come to you, have an extra car, sell it to us today, or trade in to upgrade. Swantee's of Bullhead City at 2494 Highway 95, right here in beautiful Bullhead City.
Developers and investors, located in beautiful Needles, California. This is your opportunity. River Lux Resort, a city-approved 15-acre mixed-use development along the Colorado River, zoned PUD and C2, ready for retail, resort, and residential growth. Prime location between the river and the golf course, where lifestyle meets potential. Visit riverluxresort.com and discover the vision.
KTOX 1340 AM, standing up for truth, justice, and a decent cup of coffee.
To talk with Rob on the air, call 855-586-9134.
And welcome back. 855-586-9134 is the number. Oh, absolutely loving it. Eight 855-586-9134 is the number if you want to join in the conversation. Of course, here we are on this beautiful Tuesday afternoon in Needles, California. So, you know, we started off the hour talking about, you know, my top 6 conspiracy theories. And, or the top 6 conspiracy theories that I've noticed being talked about quite a bit lately. And, you know, and some reasons why they are just absolute bunk. You know, I over the years, and you know, I used to have a caller who would call in, and I haven't heard from this caller in a long time, and frankly, I probably wouldn't take it, but would call in and say birds aren't real. You know, well, that's another one of those conspiracy theories. Birds aren't real. I think it came from a movie or something. I'm not sure. But when the Laguna Beach dude, the creature from Laguna Beach, called in and said, look, these things are taking away our attention from the real problems at hand. Yes, we've got an ongoing war in Iran right now. We're bombing the ever-loving hell out of them. Or at least their military, and hopefully just their military. However, yes, there have been civilian casualties. There have been also U.S. casualties. 7, I believe, at this point, or more. I'm not sure. Of course, there was the crewman of that tanker over Iraq that went down. And from what I understand, it was due to a midair collision. One of the things that we can count on when there's active shooting going on is something called the fog of war. We've got people from both sides screaming and yelling at each other about what is going on. And, of course, dirt bags on the internet are constantly posting false information or misleading information. And that causes a panic. Yes, we deployed 2,500 Marines to the Middle East. 2,500 Marines does not make an invasion force. While I am not privy to the mission that those Marines are going to be doing, and neither are you, it is very unlikely that they're going to put boots on the ground in Iran, unless the Iranian people invite us in after the bombing stops. But even then, I find that unlikely. We have a real crisis of leadership in this country. And why do I say we have a crisis of leadership in this country? Pretty simple. We have feckless city leaders, city leadership. We have feckless county leadership. We have feckless state leadership. We have feckless federal leadership. And let's go to the phones. KTOX, you're on the air.
By county, would you be referring to the county that the radio station is located in, or one across the river from it?
Both.
Absolutely. Well,
how does that suit you?
At least you're covering all bases.
Well, the thing is, I have to do business here in San Bernardino County, okay? And I see the kind of resources that San Bernardino gives to Needles. Not too damn much.
I was curious. So, in a caliphate, what qualifies as a civilian?
A non-combatant, somebody who's not picking up a gun and shooting back.
Is that legal?
What?
What you just described.
Not
Would
picking.
That be
not
legal
picking.
in a caliphate?
Yeah. I don't understand why it wouldn't be. Are you saying in a caliphate that everybody has to pick up a weapon and fight?
Well, obviously the Mohammedan is the leader of the whole thing, and anyone who attempts to counter it
yes.
is a criminal, right?
False pedophile prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him.
At least that's my understanding of it. I I don't have excellent sources like Tara and Bill do.
I don't know. Didn't listen. Don't care. So I have no comment about it.
They were making claims of excellent sources. That'll
Okay.
teach me to tune in.
Well, I'm glad you did. Glad you did. Anyway, all right. Anything else on your mind?
Yeah, but I forgot what it was.
Okay, well, I'm sure you'll call back later.
Okay, thank you.
Most do. Well, I had to start issuing frequent caller points or something like that. I don't know what you'd get for it, but all right.
Good job, Rob.
All right, Kenny. Thanks for the call. KTOX, you're on the air.
Hey, you're a Naval veteran. So you know how many soldiers are within a battalion, right?
Yeah, I do.
Roughly 400 to 500 soldiers in a battalion, and if they're sending 2,000 Marines, that's like four battalions, dude. That's a big group of people. They're either going to be taken over straight of I call it straight of vermouth.
Straight of vermouth, straight vermouth over rocks, maybe.
Exactly. Yeah, they're most likely what they're going to do. I mean, this boat that I saw was basically one of the Marine assault ships, for anti-terrorism stuff. So they're most likely going to take over the island where all the oil refineries are and stuff. They're not going to go to Iran, that's for sure.
Well, I'm looking at this. Okay, 2,500 war fighters. All right, just seriously, 2,500 war fighters, straight up guns.
Yeah.
Requires that plus a whole bunch of support. So
but not to take over that island we're talking about. Okay. Yeah, no, they could do that easily. Well, not easily, but they could do it. And then you're going to get your support off the aircraft carriers and have other naval vessels there, and God knows how many submarines are lurking below,
right,
et cetera. So,
it is the Department of the Navy.
Yeah.
Even though the Marines, like to claim they're their own branch, they are sort of ish. That's all right. Yeah. I'll have a Marine call in later and probably chew me out from one end to the other, and I'll just offer him a red crayon, and we'll be friends again. But no, but seriously, here's what I'm thinking, as far as those 2,500 Marines that are being sent over. Now, mind you, that's a good idea, but I also doubt it.
Yeah.
Here's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at security forces for bases around in the Middle East, and possibly and help with logistics and stuff like that. That's what I'm looking at, and that's what I'm thinking that is, because that's just too small of a fighting force.
Well, you got to find out where they dock or where they wind up mooring. Okay.
Well, once again, Secretary Hegseth somehow lost my phone number and forgot to give me the entirety of the briefing. Damn him!
I didn't get the memo either, dude.
Well, darn it, we got to fix this.
All right, well, that's just my 2 cents, man. Let somebody else talk. Have a good one, dude.
All right, thanks. Have a good one. 855-586-9134. This damn camera is holy moly. Yeah. Holy moly pudding and pie. 855-586-9134. Oh. KTOX, get about 30 seconds.
Yeah, this is going to be dude.
Hey, welcome back.
We all want peace in the world. His name is Dr. I don't know if I'm sure you've heard of him.
Possibly. I don't know.
Dr. Jerome Corsi, and you'll find him really interesting. And he also talks a little bit about the deep state, like the FBI and the CIA and stuff. But yeah, and I just wanted to bring that to your attention. And there's a song you can play for me.
This is not the DJ Miss Radio Rob show.
All right, then I won't even give you the song.
But you know what? Go ahead and give it to me. I'll look it up and I will try to include it next hour. So what is it?
It's by Blackfoot. It's called the Highway Song.
Okay, you know what? Amazingly enough, I found it.
All right. Well, last hour, what's his name? Billy got a little bit upset.
I don't comment on other people's shows.
No, I know. But he wanted the song played, and he didn't. And Henry didn't play his song. Or something.
I'm sorry, but that's.
I don't want to get involved in it. I'm going to
like I said, this is not the DJ Miss Radio Rob show. This is the Miss Rob Hanson radio program on KTOX.
I'm going to mind my own business.
All righty, Laguna Beach dude. We'll talk to you later. It is the Miss Rob Hanson radio program. Back after top of the hour news. KTOX Needles.
KTOX and K281CR Needles.
If you are just turning on your radios,
this is KTOX.
Bring you up to date on the news.
News this hour from Town Hall. I'm Keith Peters in Washington. Israel says it has killed 2 top Iranian officials.
Iranian security official Ali Larijani and the head of the Revolutionary Guard's all-volunteer Basish force, Golan Reza Soleimani, were both killed in overnight strikes, according to Israel's defense ministry. Larijani served as Secretary of Iran's Supreme National Security Council. He hails from one of Iran's most famous political families and has been an advisor to Iran's former Supreme Leader on strategy in nuclear talks with the Trump administration.
Correspondent Luke Garrett reporting Iran later confirmed the deaths of the 2 men. A top counterterrorism official is resigning over the Trump administration's war against Iran. White House correspondent Greg Clugston reports.
Joe Kent, the director of the U.S. National Counterterrorism Center, is stepping down, saying he cannot in good conscience support the war. In a statement announcing his resignation, Kent said that Iran posed no imminent threat to our nation, and it is clear, he said, that we started this war due to pressure from Israel. His resignation reflects unease among some of Donald Trump's MAGA supporters about the war. Greg Clugston, Washington.
Republicans are launching an unprecedented effort on Tuesday to hold the Senate floor and talk for days about the SAVE Act, a voter ID bill that passed the House but faces an uphill climb in the Senate. Speaker Mike Johnson says he hopes Senate Democrats don't get in the way of the voting bill.
It's ridiculous for them to oppose it. We are cheering along the Senate Republicans in trying to force this through. Hopefully, we can get this to the president's desk for signature.
On Wall Street, the Dow up by 46 points, the Nasdaq rose 105, the S&P advanced 16, oil at around $90 a barrel. More at Town Hall.
The following is a real-life story from Trinity Debt Management.
I had a lot of credit card debt, and it stressed me out. But what I thought was a solution turned out to be a problem. I kept hearing ads about debt settlement that seemed too good to be true. And actually, it was. When I called, they told me to stop paying my bills. That didn't sound right to me at all, so I hung up. Later, I found out that debt settlement is bad, real bad. Then I learned that there is a right way to pay off your credit cards It's called a debt management program from the great team at Trinity. Trinity had a plan. In the end, I paid off my bills, I saved thousands, and I even improved my credit score.
If credit card debt has you down, call Trinity at 1-800-990-6976.
My name is Heather. Please forget debt settlement and remember Trinity Debt Management.
1-800-990-6976.
Swantee's of Bullhead City wants to make your life easier. Swantee's has new Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Dodge vehicles all in stock, like the 2025 Dodge Durango. Swantee's features fast trade-in value, competitive specials, and no-hassle financing. Now Swantee's wants your car, paid for or not. They will come to you, have an extra car, sell it to us today, or trade in to upgrade. Swantee's of Bullhead City at 2494 Highway 95, right here in beautiful Bullhead City.
There's a common household fixture that produces more air pollution than all motor vehicles combined, and finding out what it is might leave you feeling burned. I'm Dr. Catherine Albrecht, back to clear the air after this.
Red alert, Yahoo users. You've fallen in a trap that could ruin your life. If you keep using Yahoo,
you consent to sharing all data in your email account with our AI providers, and you grant us a perpetual license to use, display, publish, and publicly distribute your content in any media known now or in the future, and to let other users access and distribute it as well.
Yikes! It's time to switch to StartMail, the only email that's AI-free and private by design. StartMail.com.
Researchers are calling household fireplaces an air pollution giant, and they're not just blowing smoke. Residential wood burning accounts for almost 25% of all wintertime pollution, and the smoke doesn't just linger around the chimney that puffs it out. It spreads across entire suburbs and cities. Here's the kicker. Around 8,600 premature deaths are linked to wood-burning smoke exposure in the U.S. every year, even though only 2% of households burn wood. You can still have a cozy gathering around the fireplace, but limited to special occasions. I'm Dr. Catherine Albrecht for StartMail.com, the AI-free email alternative.
Hi, Crystal again from High Desert Heat. Never before in history has it been more important to hang on to your Second Amendment rights. Times are changing fast. Make sure you and your family are protected. At High Desert Heat, we have all your Second Amendment needs. Weekly CCW classes as well as training or even a try before you buy. Custom Cerakoting, engraving, ladies private and group shooting classes. We are your hometown family-friendly one-stop shop. High Desert Heat, 4410 Highway 95, Fort Mojave, Arizona, 928-763-4328.
From the KTOX AM 1340 and 92.9 FM Weather Center, I'm Charles Dixon. Clear sky and 91 degrees on Route 66 in Needles, and good evening to listeners in Oatman. Currently clear sky and 86 degrees for you. Getting down to 67 overnight tonight. Wednesday's high will be in the upper 90s, sky is clear. Temperatures in the lower 100s on Thursday. That's your KTOX Tri-State weather. Brought to you by Route 66 Broadband.
This is KTOX.
The opinions voiced on the Rob Hanson radio program are those of the host and the callers, and not necessarily those of KTOX and Reuben Broadcasting.
Oh my goodness gracious me, mercy sakes alive. It is the Miss Rob Hanson radio program, back for hour number 2. Let's get this thing started, shall we? I think we shall.
It's the Miss Rob Hanson radio program on KTOX 1340 AM, now with FM 92.9 FM, the Tri-State's undisputed talk leader.
And welcome back. 855-586-9134. Before I get into what we're going to talk about this hour, or at least share some breaking news, let's go straight to the phones. KTOX, you're on the air.
I'll make this quick. I want to send a unsolicited request to Laguna Beach guy.
Okay. All right.
Called this one's called Whitey's on the Moon.
Oh.
by Gil Scott-Heron, and it goes, "A rat done bit my sister with Whitey on the moon. Her face and arms began to swell, and Whitey's on the moon. I can't pay no doctor bills, but Whitey's on the moon. 10 years from now, I'll still be paying still, while Whitey's on the moon. The man just upped my rent last night, because Whitey's on the moon. No hot water, no toilets, no lights, but Whitey's on the moon. I wonder what he's doing why he's upping me, because Whitey's on the moon." Hello?
I'm here.
You don't like that?
No, not really.
Okay.
All right. Thanks. 855-586-9134. KTOX, you're on the air.
Have you heard of the White Cavalry?
The who to what?
The White Cavalry.
No.
That's who coerced the January 6ers into signing confessions. The White Cavalry is a situation that rhymes with ice. The White Cavalry is actually lice. It was a Civil War term for being lice infested, and why some people were not able to report for duty during the Civil War was because of the White Cavalry.
Okay.
Oh, the reason for the I believe Carg Island was probably the initial reason for the 5,000 number that they originally said.
Yeah,
now they're down to 25.
Yeah, 2,500. Yeah.
Yeah, now they're down to half that.
Are they?
Which probably wouldn't be enough to seize Carg Island.
I have no idea. None whatsoever. It depends on how many Marines were there already. But, it is what it is.
Yeah, that's true. We don't know what forces are already there, if any.
Yeah. Was it 3 carrier groups? That's a lot of people. That's a lot.
They were complaining on one of the carriers that the sewage was backed up. Well, that indicates to me that there's a lot more than a regular crew on that carrier.
Oh, I don't know. There's one carrier that constantly has plumbing issues. I do know that, and has from the get-go. But I don't remember which one that was. But yeah, like I said, I'm not taking too much at face value for reported events from out of there, because just like I said, there's just too much noise, too much nonsense.
Oh, I agree. Not only is it small in quantity, it's small in believability as well.
There you go. All right, well, I've got this breaking news about a shooter opening fire at a VA clinic in Jasper, Georgia, that I want to get to.
Okay.
All righty. Thanks for the call.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Late this afternoon, a gunman opened fire at a VA clinic in Jasper, Georgia, resulting in one employee being critically injured. According to the Jasper Police Chief Matt Dawkins, a gunman opened fire at the clinic and shot a Veterans Affairs employee. Jasper police quickly responded to the scene and fatally shot the gunman outside the clinic. The employee was immediately airlifted to a local hospital where their condition at this point is unknown, and currently authorities have yet to release the identity of the suspect or whether the gunman was a veteran or had a military background. And other than that, the gunman who was killed, the details about him were not immediately released. Dawkins said, "We don't know what led up to it." That's pretty much it. And, of course, VA Secretary Doug Collins took to Twitter, or X, saying, "Praying for the victim as well as all Pickens County Department of Veterans Affairs Clinic veterans and employees. He added, "We are sending a team from VA HQ to Georgia tomorrow to ensure the clinic employees get all the support they need." So there you go. That's the breaking news at the moment. Kind of disturbing there. It'd be interesting to read what the idiots online have to say about it. Cuba right now is somewhat folding. They're out of power. They're out of juice. You've heard the reports out of it, and according to this report, the Cuban dictatorship has announced that the Cuban citizens residing abroad are welcome to come home and invest in and own businesses on the island. Of course, that's probably targeted to Cubans in exile here in the United States. The communist dictatorship of Cuba announced Monday that it will allow Cuban citizens living abroad, including thousands in Miami and other cities in the United States, to invest in and become owners of private companies on the island. The announcement seeks to attract fresh capital amid the severe economic crisis afflicting the country. As confirmed by their Vice Prime Minister and Minister of Foreign Trade and Foreign Investment, Oscar Perez Oliva Fraga, in an exclusive interview granted to NBC News from Havana. Fraga, great-grandnephew of Fidel and Raul Castro, stated verbatim that Cuba is going to have a flood is open to having a flood of commercial relationship with U.S. companies, and also with Cubans residing in the United States and their descendants. The official emphasized that the measure goes beyond the commercial sphere and covers not only small businesses but large investments, particularly in infrastructure, with an emphasis on sectors such as tourism, mining, and energy. In a way, Cubans abroad will be able to participate in or own private, medium-sized private enterprises or large enterprises without the need for effective residency on the island itself, a change that modifies decades of restrictions imposed by a regime who decided to immigrate or whatever. Let's go to the phones real quick. KTOX, you're on the air.
Cubans are out of Jews?
I'm sorry, what?
You said Cubans are out of juice.
Yeah, they're out of juice, man.
Oh, so that's that's the problem, their economic problem. If they would take some of our Jews, they would have more people to run business over there.
What are you blabbering about, Jews or juice?
Well, what you said, they're Cuban.
They're out of oil, they're out of energy, out of juice, Juice.
Well, I don't care how you spell it, but those are the guys that run all the businesses.
All right, thanks for the call. 855-586-9134. Anyway, the shift was anticipated on Friday by the Miami Herald, which cited anonymous sources regarding the imminent economic opening. The same outlet confirmed the information on Monday following NBC News interview. This announcement comes right after the president appointed by the regime, Miguel Diaz-Canel, admitted on national broadcasts on Friday that Cuba maintains official conversations with the administration of President Donald Trump. A recognition that marks a turning point after years of denials by Havana. So I think that situation in Cuba is resolving itself. And possibly we're looking at reforms in Cuba, which would be awesome. Which would be awesome. I'd love to see Cuba open up for tourism. I'd love to see Cuba open up for private business. I'd love to see Cuba being able to step into the world stage. I would love to be able to see that Cubans who ran away from their country just to survive have the ability to go back if they wish or visit. I think it would be awesome. I'm sorry that it took starving them of oil to do so. I'm sorry it took the nonsense of the last 50, 60 years to bring Cuba to the point where it's back in the world stage. And I hope for the best for the Cuban people. I really do. I know there's been discussion. Well, what had Cuba done to us? They're just a little tiny country in the middle of nowhere. Well, they've been making alliances with our enemies. First, it was the Soviet Union, who tried to park missiles on that island. We got upset about that, created a great big blockade. Hence the Cuban Missile Crisis. Scared a lot of people in the United States and around the world because we thought any second, or at least my parents thought, any second the bombs were going to start falling. The missiles were going to start flying. And everybody backed down. We have seen boatload after boatload after boatload of people trying to make it to the United States. Far too many of them not making it. Let's go to the phones. KTOX, you're on the air.
Just for the record, you know how the Russians got all of their missiles into Cuba, right? In the beginning?
No, how?
They brought all the components in by submarine
and
had them hidden under cargo ships coming into Cuba. That's how they snuck all the stuff in. And then I don't remember the exact details, but JFK said, "Well, how did we win this?" Well, Khrushchev blinked first. No. They got rid of the missiles supposedly, and they have put them back, but they got rid of the missiles. And we had to make a concession in some other part of Russia. Okay, it wasn't like we're big bad America.
I know.
No, it's like, okay, you get rid of your Cuban missiles. We'll get rid of these other missiles you don't like. Okay,
the world blinked.
Yeah. Well, guess what? The world's blinking now like an epileptic, dude.
I think you might be right. All right, man. Thanks for the call. Do appreciate it.
Later.
855-586-9134. And, darn it. That's not what I wanted to do. Oh, there it is. Yeah. Laguna Beach, dude. Here you go. Blackfoot, the highway song. Right for you. KTOX Needles. We'll be back. This portion of the Rob Hanson radio program could be brought to you by you for as little as $25 a week. For more information, email us at info@ktox1340.com. That's info@ktox1340.com. info@ktox1340.com.
KTOX.
KTOX.
The Tri-States Talk Leader.
Stuck in Bullhead City without a ride? Don't waste time. Call Time Call Taxi. We're your local experts for fast, reliable transportation around town, to the airport, or anywhere you need to go. Our friendly drivers ensure safe, comfortable rides at affordable rates, 24/7. Whether it's a quick errand or a night out, we've got you covered. Call now, 928-201-2953. That's 928-201-2953. Time Call Taxi, because time is money, and we're always on time.
This is Mike from the Afternoon Drive-By. I want to talk to you about one of KTOX's most loyal and famous sponsors. That is Dandy's Donut and Deli in Fort Mojave. Dandy's has fresh-baked donuts, hot and iced coffee every day. Besides the consistently incomparable food and exceptional service, Dandy's overall excellence and clean atmosphere is unsurpassed. Dandy's Donut and Deli at 4630 Highway 95. Open 5 a.m. to 3 p.m. Tuesday through Sunday.
And tell them that you heard it on KTOX.
Driving high can get you a DUI. Instead of getting behind the wheel, designate a sober driver or rideshare. In Arizona, drug-impaired driving is illegal, even if the drug is legal. So drive sober or not at all. In Arizona, there's zero tolerance for impaired driving, since drugs slow your reaction time and cloud your judgment. If you feel different, you drive different. Visit drivesober.az.gov to learn more. This message is sponsored by the Governor's Office of Highway Safety.
Imagine if I told you that an earthquake was going to hit tomorrow right where you live. That it would be 6.5 in magnitude with aftershocks occurring twice 25 minutes apart. You'd no doubt talk with your loved ones, and you'd make a plan today. It's true, I can't tell you an earthquake will happen tomorrow. But what if it does? Shouldn't you have a plan? Visit azein.gov and make your emergency plan today. Don't wait. Communicate. Brought to you by DEMA, FEMA, and the Ad Council.
A key to your child's success at school rests at home. This is Eric Hines, president of the California Teachers Association. One of the most important skills any student can learn is how to study. Help your child establish a study routine and a quiet place for homework away from television and other distractions. Make sure that notes, homework, and assignments for each subject are kept together, and take the time to talk to your child about what they're studying or to review homework for accuracy and completion. Most importantly, be consistent. Make sure that whatever study habits you work to create truly become habits. Done at the same time, in the same way, every day. Combined with a regular bedtime, your student will be primed for academic success. Working together, parents and teachers can make this a successful school year for every child in California.
A message from the California Teachers Association.
Hey everyone. Let's all stop what we're doing right now and take a moment. That felt good, huh? Just like that, we had a nice special sort of moment together. Of course, they don't all need to be quiet moments to be special. They could be loud moments, goofy moments, sporty moments, dorky moments. Moments where we talk or walk or just hang out. It doesn't really matter. They all count. Because every time dads like us take a moment like that to spend with our kids, well, it's pretty momentous. Sounds like somebody agrees. So let's take a moment to make a moment. Today, call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
When is the best time to talk to your family about staying in touch during a disaster? When floodwaters reach your door? When wildfires are engulfing the edge of your neighborhood? Or an earthquake is destroying buildings? Or is the best time perhaps today? During a disaster, you may not be able to stay in touch with your family or friends as easily as you think. Go to ein.az.gov and make your emergency plan today. Don't wait. Communicate. Brought to you by DEMA, FEMA, and the Ad Council.
KTOX Needles, the very best in live local talk.
To talk with Rob on the air, call 855-586-9134.
Oh, welcome back. 855-586-9134 is the number if you want to join in the conversation. Oh, love the cars. Anyway, 855-586-9134. Now we're going to bring it back into the United States, and we're going to head to the Senate floor. Well, so to speak. According to a Fox News report, Senate Republicans today successfully launched their floor takeover to put Senate Democrats on record against the Trump-backed voter ID legislation. It's a move to shift the spotlight from internal GOP divisions over the Safeguarding of America's Voter Eligibility, or SAVE America Act, onto Senate Democrats who are ultimately withholding the needed votes to pass the bill. Not Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer from New York. Not a single Democrat will support the SAVE Act. It's a radical bill, and if the Republicans try to burn time on this legislation here on the floor, we will oppose them for as long as it takes. Now, polling for voter ID across the United States has been overwhelmingly supportive on both sides of the issue. And honestly, people are tired of the narratives that have been floating around about voter and voter ID. Some of them have been just outright racist in their demagoguery, claiming that black people can't get ID, or claiming that black people are not smart enough to use the internet to help them find out how to get ID. To now, Democrats are claiming that this will disenfranchise millions and millions of women in the United States, causing them not to be able to vote because their birth certificates and their driver's licenses may not match in their last names. Pretty much in all 50 states right now is the requirement, if you want to travel, that you have to have one of the star licenses. Also, I can't remember also known as a real ID. So their arguments are falling on deaf ears and viewed as silly as the arguments they made years ago where black people couldn't get IDs. It's pretty simple. People have to present IDs just to buy some items like cigarettes or firearms or open a bank account. And in a lot of states and a lot of jurisdictions, getting just an ID is free. Yeah, you heard me right. Free. Free. Won't cost you a dime. You come in with your birth certificate and maybe a Social Security card and fill out some paperwork, and guess what? They give you an ID. Not necessarily a driver's license, but an ID. Then asking for your ID before you register to vote makes sense. In Arizona, the Department of Economic Insecurity, or DES, they try to sign up everybody to vote right there and then. And guess what? You've got to prove your citizenship 6 ways from Sunday with them, just to get food stamps and other benefits. Every time you go into the DMV, the Department of Motor Vehicles, at least in Arizona, I don't know how it is in California because I've never been to a California DMV to save my life. But in Arizona DMV, every single time they ask you, hey, do you want to register to vote? Or do you want to update your voting registration? Every single time. I think when I went and got my forever fishing license from the state of Arizona, they even asked me if I wanted to register to vote. Because I had to prove my ID and my citizenship. It's not an uncommon occurrence to have to show ID to gain a service, especially a governmental service, or at a bank, or at a gun store, or at a liquor store, or to buy cigarettes, or hell, even to buy marijuana at one of the various pot shops. You got to provide ID. There are bars in the area that ID everybody, regardless. Because because they got busted for underage drinking, so they ID everybody when you order a drink. Yeah, let me see your ID. Okay, thank you. So what's so doggone difficult about this? What is so gosh darn evil about this? That it's going to disenfranchise actual Americans from voting. It's not. It's not. And let me fill you in on another little secret. Typically, a lot of people do not vote during the midterms. They just don't see the reason to do so. One, because there's just so much noise about who to vote for, who not to vote for, and why the other guy is an absolute dirtbag. And the other guy is an absolute prince that would do no wrong. They're politicians, for crying out loud. Voter ID is not that big of a deal. It really isn't. Yet, of course, in Washington, D.C., which they would rather have us keep our attention on minor things like this and not get real legislation done. like an actual budget or an actual anything, they continue to bluster on about bills like this. Now, this is an important bill. I agree. This is something that should have been passed a long, long, long time ago. It shouldn't even been an argument. And here's the other side effect of this. If this legislation can help restore faith in our national elections and our state elections and our local elections, then a lot of other people who have given up voting altogether may come back to the voting rolls. You know, there are two duties as an American citizen that I hold extremely dear. One of them is voting, making sure that I exercise my voice in the political process that we call the United States of America. The other is jury duty. I received my summons for federal jury duty in April. So God willing, I will just call the phone number, once a week, and they'll say, "Nope, you're not it. Nope, you're not it. Nope, you're not it," for 4 weeks, and I won't have to worry about it again for another 3 or 4 to 6 or 7 years. Doesn't matter. But it's important. It's part of the fabric of the United States, part of the reason that we have a justice system, because all accused people have a right to a trial by jury, a trial of their peers. And I am one of their peers. The likelihood of me ever actually sitting on a jury is next to none, because once they find out I'm in journalism, or I'm on the air, or I have been reporting on a story, I will be immediately excused, much to my disappointment. But it's an important thing. So important that they told me that, hey, look, you can be fined $1,000 a day and spend days and days in jail. Let's go to the phone. KTOX, you're on the air.
Hey, you're talking about jury of your peers.
Yes.
Bamberg, baby. Erlangen, baby. NATO. What military? What did you think of the unfairness of the jury of your peers in the military?
The jury. Well, if you were being court-martialed,
if you
didn't have peers, you had officers.
Yeah. If you were an E1 to E4 and you were on trial, your peers would be E1 to E4 rank. Oh no, you got E6 to E9s.
Or officers, depending upon the severity or the type of court martial.
That was not a jury of your peers.
Oh,
now,
no.
If you were a Sergeant E5, D6, then jury of your peers might have been E7s, E8s, E9s, right?
Not necessarily, because again, that would be more of an officer thing.
That's not your peers.
Yeah.
That's a superior officer. That is not a peer. So
yeah,
what do you think of that?
The thing is, that's the UCMJ, the Uniform Code of Military Justice, and yeah, there's a whole different approach to that.
What I'm trying to support is your point. You're not really getting a jury of your peers in your example.
Right.
Just like in the military. In the military, UCMJ, you are not truly getting an evaluation of your peer group.
Well, I understand what you're saying, but this is the system we have, and frankly, while it is far from perfect, I mean, about as far from perfect as anyone can possibly get. It's a whole hell of a lot better than a lot of other systems.
Yeah.
Whole
All
lot
right,
better.
Later. Have a good one.
Later. Have a good one yourself. 855-586-9134 is the number. You're welcome to call in if you wish. Military court-martials. Good God. I'm just grateful I never had to stand in front of one of those. That would have been the suckiest thing of my life. I know people who have. The Erlangen rapist, guy by the name of Locke. He was a sergeant in our company. He decided to hang out in parks and ambush rape young women as they came bicycling or running by. We'll be back. KTOX Needles.
I've been living on the edge so long, where the winds of limbo roar, and I'm young enough to look at and far too old to see. All the scars are on the inside. I'm not sure that there's anything left to me. Don't let these shakes go on. It's time we had a break from it.
This portion of the Rob Hanson radio program could be brought to you by you for as little as $25 a week. For more information, email us at info@ktox1340.com. That's info@ktox1340.com. info@ktox1340.com.
KTOX.
KTOX.
The Tri-States Talk Leader.
Stuck in Bullhead City without a ride? Don't waste time. Call Taxi. We're your local experts for fast, reliable transportation around town, to the airport, or anywhere you need to go. Our friendly drivers ensure safe, comfortable rides at affordable rates, 24/7. Whether it's a quick errand or a night out, we've got you covered. Call now, 928-201-2953. That's 928-201-2953. Time Call Taxi. Because time is money, and we're always on time.
KTOX would love to do your advertising. If your organization or business needs a little help, KTOX can get your name out on the air. We have the best advertising rates in the area. Reach us by email at ktoxradio@yahoo.com or 928-296-2562. That's KTOXradio@yahoo.com or 928-296-2562.
This is Mike from the Afternoon Drive-By. I want to talk to you about one of KTOX's most loyal and famous sponsors. That is Dandy's Donut and Deli in Fort Mojave. Dandy's has fresh-baked donuts, hot and iced coffee every day. Besides the consistently incomparable food and exceptional service, Dandy's overall excellence and clean atmosphere is unsurpassed. Dandy's Donut and Deli at 4630 Highway 95. Open 5 a.m. to 3 p.m. Tuesday through Sunday.
And tell them that you heard it on KTOX.
Stuck in Bullhead City without a ride? Don't waste time. Call Taxi. We're your local experts for fast, reliable transportation around town, to the airport, or anywhere you need to go. Our friendly drivers ensure safe, comfortable rides at affordable rates, 24/7. Whether it's a quick errand or a night out, we've got you covered. Call now, 928-201-2953. That's 928-201-2953. Time Call Taxi. Because time is money, and we're always on time.
You're not wired to have a response to this sound. You're neutral to it. You hear it every time you finish a meal and never feel anything. But if we were able to associate this sound with a new stimulus, save the food, we've achieved pulling a natural response from you. Save the food. Why are we doing this, you may ask? Save the food. Because this ad is trying to change your after-meal behavior through brainwashing. Because food waste costs the average family $1,500 a year. Save the food, cha-ching, and $1,500 extra bucks is like getting a pay raise. Save the food, cha-ching, you're promoted, which could pay for your child's braces. Save the food, cha-ching, you're promoted.
Check out my braces.
So when you hear this sound, Rethink your behavior. Cook it, store it, share it. Just don't waste it. For tips and recipes, visit SaveTheFood.com. Brought to you by NRDC and the Ad Council.
Hi, I found a toy dinosaur over on the playground by Smith Street. It had this phone number on it, and, well, I just wanted to make sure the dinosaur made it back to its little owner.
Yeah, hi. I think I found your kid's stuffed animal near the swing set. Just want to call. I'm sure she misses it.
I know my son gets super attached to the smallest things, even a fire truck, and I'd be happy to drop it off. The toy was a little muddy, so I cleaned it up, and it's good to go whenever you're around.
When I found the little sippy cup, I just had to give you a call. It's for a kid, you know?
We'd do anything for kids. Yet 1 in 6 children in the U.S. struggle with hunger. Help end childhood hunger and give all of our kids the meals they need to grow. Learn how at feedingamerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Be sure to tune in this weekend to America Outdoors Radio. I'm John Cruz, host and producer of this hour-long show. Every week, we cover fishing, we cover hunting, we cover the shooting sports, and we do it with you in mind. This is no ordinary hook and bullet show. This is America Outdoors Radio.
Join America Outdoors Radio, Saturday from 2 to 3 p.m. right here on KTOX Radio, 1340 AM and 104.1 FM.
KTOX, we bring you facts without fear or favor.
To talk with Rob on the air, call 855-586-9134.
And welcome back. 855-586-9134 is the number if you want to join in the conversation. Oh, man. Anyway. Yeah. Not going to happen. Anyway. 855-586-9134. Yeah. So, registering to vote. Having to use your ID to register to vote is, come on, it's not brain surgery. It really isn't. And like I said, if it can restore the faith of the American people in the voting process, I think that'll go a long way to putting down the claims of cheating, and I'm talking about from both sides as well, because there's been plenty of claims that Trump somehow cheated in the last election. And, of course, in the previous one, Trump claimed that there was cheating abound in the 2020 election. And in the midterms, when we voted for a new governor, the heir apparent, Carrie Lake, accused the Democrats, especially the Democrats in around Phoenix, of cheating with a lot of really suspicious activities. I'm not saying it's all conspiracy theory, but I'm also saying it's time to end the nonsense. And if we can restore faith in our voting system, then we might be able to do a lot more. and maybe start electing people that matter. It was California a whole bunch of years ago when Governor Gavin Newsom, or as a lot of other people say, galvanized Newscum or nuisance or whatever you want to call him, was recalled. And that particular recall had overwhelming support. Until it came to the polls. A lot of people looked at this and went, "Huh? This isn't right. Something's definitely odd about this." And shrugged and went on. And we've seen time and time again where elections in California have gone a little bit screwy. Especially during the last presidential election, where states like California, Colorado, and other typically blue states attempted to remove Trump from the ballot. And their efforts, of course, were overturned nearly immediately by appeals courts and said, sorry, you cannot do this. Thus proving once and for all that, yeah, you can be a convicted felon, sitting in prison, and still win the presidential election. I think that would be funny in hell. Imagine some guy sitting in prison decides, I'm going to run for president. Gets the support, gets the nominations. Of course, he can't hit the campaign trail, but, you know, heck, in the United States, we love an underdog. He can't exactly, go out and give flowery speeches, but he can write letters, hand them off to his attorney, and he can make the speeches and the speechifying and get put on a ballot. You're no less an American citizen when you're in prison. The only qualifications for running for president of the United States is that, one, you're a U.S. citizen, and two, you're of a certain age. Everything else is just window dressing. Of course, we'd like the smartest person. Of course, we'd like a well-educated person. Of course, we'd like a nominee that, isn't going to sell us down the road to a drug cartel. But it's part of the American political system. So Trump was allowed to stay on the ticket. And, of course, he won very handily. Won the popular vote and definitely won the electoral vote, which really didn't surprise me at that point. Because people were sick and tired of the way things were being handled. And our choice was someone who was so empty-headed and vacuous that she couldn't even complete a sentence that made sense. Her own policies were essentially let somebody else do it. Just like the previous 4 years of the Biden administration let somebody else do it. And they did. And we got disastrously overrun with illegal aliens. We had disastrously high inflation. We had disastrously backstabbing towards the American people. It was a disaster. But at any rate, it is the Miss Rob Hanson radio program. Of course, this is the Tuesday edition. Tomorrow, we'll be back for the Wednesday edition. Make sure you listen tomorrow morning, starting about 9:30 tomorrow. We'll have Henry over at Santa Fe Park and in the El Garces. He'll be doing a live remote from there. I'll be sitting here behind the desk, and you never know, you might be able to go find a job if you head down there and talk to Henry or talk to the fine folks that are putting on this. Anyway, it's the Miss Rob Hanson radio program, KTOX Needles.
KTOX and K281CR Needles.
If you are just turning on your radios,
this is KTOX.
Bring you up to date on the news.
News this hour from town.